Hey guys, it's Big Nick here, and I'm back again for the first time in God knows how long. So I'm here to give you today a Blu-ray collection update, Blu-ray, DVD, whatever. So one, it's a lot, probably definitely my biggest. I'm just gonna apologize in advance for this damn glare. It's really nothing I can do. My sun glaring in, walls all white, doesn't really help. So I'm just gonna start it off. I'm just gonna go through. Ignore the glare. Okay, first off, before I start, let me just say that the wrestling stuff I know I stopped doing. It's just that pay-per-views at times can sometimes really do catch me off guard. Like 1 minute you be like, oh, okay, I got an extra week, I'll wait, and then it's that week. So I'm gonna start again. I might start with SummerSlam and just go straight through. Just gonna have to wait and see how everything goes. If it does go the way I am hoping, then I will start from SummerSlam on again. So enough of that, we're going to go right into this. So I'm going to start off with the first one. It is my only wrestling pickup. It is a DVD, and that is the Best of NXT TakeOver 2018. And the glare really does suck. It's probably the best way you can see it there. Yeah, the glare sucks in here right now. My room's also a different way, so the glare is all out of control. So there's the Best of NXT TakeOver 2018. I've pretty much seen everything on this. Pretty much I have. It's fun. It's a good set. Nice to have, especially if you're a fan of NXT. So now we're going to start off with the special editions type things. So this one is a interesting edition. It's the gift set, limited number, all that stuff, of a DC animated movie, and that is Batman Bad Blood. See it kind of well there. See Nightwing there, the little figure. This is the only one of these I have. My cousin has one. She has the one for Justice League Dark. Bad Blood's a good movie. Blu-ray's in here. I'm not going to take it out because all that extra stuff. It's a good movie. Like the little figure. And this was the last one in the trilogy of the Batman movies of Son of Batman, Batman and Robin, and Bad Blood. So yeah, like the movie. Pretty good. Next up, we have the first 6 films, and that's the 6 movie collection of the Fast and the Furious. You can see that actually pretty well there, thank God. That's the first 6 films. I found this at a Rite Aid for like $6. Had to pick it up. It's a nice set. I've seen the first, seen the second, don't like the third. Seen the fourth, bits of the fourth. Seen the fifth, love the fifth, and I've seen the sixth, like the sixth. I haven't seen Furious 7, and I haven't seen Fate of the Furious, so I know the Furious 7, I know it's Paul Walker's last one, it's supposed to be a good one, and Fate of the Furious is supposed to be good. I know I'm going to like them, just that I saw this for $6 and had to pick it up. Next up we have here our 4 steelbooks. First off is a cool steelbook. I like the coloring in it at all, and that is Jurassic Park: The Fallen Kingdom. There's blue there. Back here, there's the thing. There's the evil dinosaur from I can't remember what they called it. It's just a generic steelbook. Inside, any art, really not that much artwork besides just the glaring evil eye, which you can't see right there. I've seen Fallen Kingdom. It's not as good as Jurassic World. They pretty much tried to do the exact same thing with Jurassic Park: The Lost World, but on a bigger scale, and Okay, next up we have is the 3-film collection of Pokemon's first 3 movies, and that's Pokemon the first movie, Pokemon 2000, or The Power of One, and Pokemon 3000. Yeah, these are all great movies, especially from my childhood. Everyone calls this the greatest. I consider this the greatest, and then this one's very good. Each one centered around a legendary Pokemon. Obviously, this is centered around the legendary Mew and Mewtwo. This is centered around the birds of Lugia and the 3 birds of Articuno, Moltres, and Zapdos. And this one is centered around the unknown and the legendary Pokemon Entei. Good. Very good. These are very good, especially if you're a fan of Pokemon. This is a good pickup. Next up we have is the steelbook. I found at a what was it, Big Lots for a few bucks. It's a little dinged in some places, so I'm kind of upset about it. I didn't even notice until I bought it, but it doesn't really matter because it's still pretty. Besides those 2 dings, it's in perfect condition. And that is 8 Mile with this. I believe this was a Lost Art or something like that. Steelbook, not Lost Art, but it was supposed to be in this special style book. Artwork's just this. I'll say it on the back if you can read. There we are. Probably the best it'll get. nothing inside. But yeah, it's good. 8 Mile is a good movie. It's obviously the movie that introduced the world to Eminem besides his music. So, and the final one is a movie I've yet to see. I'm waiting to see it. I'm gonna watch it, just haven't had the chance to. And that is one of the best movies of 2018. This came out last year, right? Yeah, 2018. And that is A Quiet Place, with this very cool steelbook with the claw marks on Emily Blunt's hand. Right hand? Yeah. Very good. It's very cool. I like the steelbook. Love the feel of it. It's slick. As I said, I've yet to see the movie. I've just really haven't had the time. Haven't been really into movie watching, so that's why I haven't watched it yet. Which probably will happen with a couple of these, because I believe in these Blu-ray, in the movies, there's a couple I haven't seen. But after that, yeah. So now we're gonna start with the. Now I have the movies organized in some way. I have animes up front. Then I have DC, live action and animated. Disney, live action and animated. Marvel, MCU, non-MCU, and then the stock titles. Stock titles are in no order. They're just as they are. So is everything else. They're just in the order of what I see fit. So first up we have is a double feature of Dragon Ball Z's Broly, the Legendary Super Saiyan, and Broly's Second Coming. Now, anybody who's an anime fan knows that these two movies, especially this one, I'm going to yes, Broly Legendary Super Saiyan is a God movie. Should be moving back this one. This is a God movie. Second one's fine. Third one doesn't exist. Yeah, you get that. It's actually pretty nice. Next there's another double pack of Super Android 13 and BoJack Unbound. Another DBZ. Super Android 13 is actually good. BoJack Unbound I see is fine. It's just it does something that the anime already did. Try to replay it. And there's that, and then personal favorite of mine, and that is the Cooler 2-pack of Revenge of Cooler and The Return of Cooler. Another cool little 2-pack here. Revenge of Cooler is probably my favorite besides Broly, the first one. And then we have the Dragon Ball Super movie with a cool lenticular slipcover that's apparently only at Walmart. And that is Broly, Dragon Ball Super Broly. I liked it. The movie gets love and hate. I enjoyed it. It was what it was. It has this cool little lenticular slip, which is exclusively to Walmart. Not paid by them. I just work for them. Okay. Next up, now we're going to start with the DCs. First off is part of the DCEU, and that is Aquaman. Great movie. Saw it. Loved it. Fantastic. It's definitely a movie I will watch 1 billion times. It's just everybody did great at their jobs. Really didn't have a problem with anybody in the role except maybe Black Manta, because he really, like, the actor really wasn't given. I feel like he wasn't given much, but otherwise great. And this movie is very similar to an animated movie, which I'll get to shortly. And so now that's all for the live actions. I do have one other live action, but that's for the next update. So this one starts the animated, and there's a good chunk of animation here. So first up, this was released late last year, and that is the DC original movie of Reign of the Superman. Now, before you saw me get Death of a Superman. This is the sequel to that. Not as good, but it's pretty solid. I do recommend these DC animated movies. Many of them follow in a certain line, like Death and Reign of the Superman. But otherwise, and the other Batman movies I mentioned, but otherwise they're just thrown in there. Okay, next up is another DC movie, and this one's a few years earlier, and that's Justice League versus the Teen Titans. Now, this is a pretty good one. This one pretty much centers around Raven and her father Trigon, and all stuff into it. That another DC movie is one that was pretty much made from the CW, based around the Constantine show, but then they decided to release it as a full-on movie, and that is Constantine City of Demons. Now, the movie, as it says, because it's supposed to be like a little mini-series they put on the CW seed, but they never finished uploading it and then just decided to give us the whole thing. But yeah, this one's actually really good. The Constantine movies have been good. Justice League Dark was a good one. This one I'd say maybe a little bit better. Matt Ryan at Constantine's one of the best things ever. Next up, another animated movie, and that is Justice League Crisis onto Earth. Now, this does not follow the DC little movie line of some of those other movies. The Constantine one, you could say follows in it because of Matt Ryan's Constantine being featured in the other, in Justice League Dark, but this one was released years before that. It's actually really good. It's pretty much, as you can see there, 2 Earths. If you know the DC multiverse, then you know pretty much these characters. Next up we have is a movie that is part of that trilogy with Batman, Batman Bad Blood, and that is Son of Batman. I believe this was the first one. Yep, this is the first one. Then it was Batman and Robin, so I was right in the right order. This is pretty much where Batman's introduced to his son Damian, and then all that ensues after that. And now here's the movie here that I said that the Aquaman movie pretty much is just an animated form. And that is Justice League Throne of Atlantis, the commemorative edition. Now this movie, I believe, is like 2015, 2016 release. I believe. It's a really good movie. It's literally Aquaman. It's literally that one. Just with a bit certain differences, but that's usually what you expect from live action and animation. It's good. I recommend you watch both and then compare them. Don't listen to me. Watch both. I recommend you watch the animated first, then go to the live action, and then compare. Next up here is the second to last one of the DC animated movies. This one is not connected to the DC line. It was one recently released because this is different voice actors, and this is in the styling of the old Justice League show. If you remember the old Justice League animated, Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, this is literally the same style, same voice actors, same characters, same styling, and that is Justice League versus the Fatal Five. This one's really good. I like this one. Fatal Five, villains from the future, come back to stop the, well, not really come back to stop the original Justice League. I don't want to spoil stuff, so good movie. I do recommend this one. And then the final DC movie is Batman, The Killing Joke. Another one not connected to the little DC universe, just one that was released in there. Kind of like Gotham by Gaslight and all that, but it's not an Elseworlds tale. This one's okay. I understand it is based off the iconic comic, The Killing Joke, as you can tell by the artwork there. The glare would not be a pain in my ass. It's solid, because I understand The Killing Joke starts off from a kind of a point where you can't really do a movie, so they had to fill in some of the gaps, but yeah. Okay, now we're going to go into Disney. Oh, I have seen all those. So first off on Disney is a movie I've yet to see. Really haven't been the chance yet, but I'm going to watch this one because I can either watch it on here or on Netflix. And that is Christopher Robin. This was sent to me from the Disney Movie Club. That's my final commitment. Really have nothing to say on this because I haven't seen it yet, but I was a fan of Winnie the Pooh as a child, so should see. Next up is a movie I've seen plenty of times from Disney, and I had the second one, so I had to get the first one. And that's National Treasure. Fan of the National Treasure movies, not that many people. I love them both. I love Book of Secrets more than this one, but they're still good to me. Next up is a movie I hadn't seen when I got it. It was sent to me from the Disney Movie Club along with a movie I already had, so it came in a little 2-pack, and that is Disney's Hocus Pocus. I did see this about a couple months ago. It's alright. I can see why it's a cult favorite movie for many people who kind of grew up around that time. Next up is two movies that I got that are two of the best movies Pixar / Disney has ever done, and that is The Incredibles and its long-awaited sequel, Incredibles 2. Yeah, I got Incredibles 2 first in the Disney Movie Club, and then I picked this one up about a few months ago, say maybe April. Just waiting for it to be at a good price to get, because you know how Disney likes to charge $25 for all their damn Blu-rays. Same with you, MCU. But yeah, so I love them both. Incredible 1's still better. Incredible 2's great, but Incredibles 1 holds it. They're just great. Recommend both of them. Next one is another Pixar film. One that kind of surprised me. I didn't expect it to be that good because I really wasn't anticipating it, but then I heard all the good things about it. I said, you know what, give it a try. And that is Coco. Got this on Black Friday. Yeah, this goes way back to Black Friday. This is one of them. I think this is the only Blu-ray movie I picked up. Everything else I think was TV shows. So yeah, this is a very good movie. Very emotional, very sad scene at the end there. I'm not gonna say it because you never know. People never could have watched, probably didn't watch it. Good movie. Good pickup. Disney continues to show why they kind of own most of the world. Next up is an underrated Disney film, and that is Bolt. It's got very underrated. I like the movie. It's enjoyable. It's vastly underrated for no reason. Well, not no reason. I can see why it's underrated compared to the other films Disney has released, especially around Bolt's release, which was... the Blu-ray was released 2017. Bolt was released Even 10 years earlier. They don't want to tell me, so. Next up, for Disney Animation, this was a limited release, as it says on here. This is from the Disney Movie Club. It's an exclusive to the Disney Movie Club. And that is 101 Dalmatians. This is pretty much the only exclusive I've had from there. It's Blu-ray DVD combo pack. I did see this when I was a kid. I don't remember much about it. I've seen the live action ones more. I watched those more. Just that I don't remember much about this, so I have to rewatch it. Next up is one of my favorite movies. It's a classic 80s movie. I got this from the Disney Movie Club. Or not. I think I did. Can't remember. It was either Amazon or Disney Movie Club, and that is the 25th anniversary edition of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Love this movie. It's funny. It's great comedy. Just loved this since I was a kid. Had to get it. Great movie. Okay, so we are done with the Disney titles. Now we're in, well, and they all decided to fall. Luckily nothing got hurt. Well, we're not done with Disney, but we're done with the standard Disney, Pixar and all that, because we still have the MCU to go to. I have a few, but first we're going to start off with the films that are not in the MCU. So there's still Marvel, but they're not MCU. And this first one is part of the X-Men series, and that is the first X-Men. Now, this is the one that pretty much started it all. This is the one that started the whole, pretty much really reignited the whole superhero craze, because at that time, the Batman movies were, you know, good and bad. We had the Blade movies that really just didn't get that many people hyped, but then the X-Men movies started it all. Started its own franchise, which has had a lot of ups and downs. That's one of, why did I throw it down? X-Men is one of the ups, so nice to have it. I'm almost done with the original. I'm almost done with most of it. I have 4. I just need a few others. Next up is a movie that many people were not a fan of. I can see why. It was okay to me. I definitely will watch it again, and that is Venom. It's a good movie. Enjoyed it. Not good. It's okay. I enjoyed it to a point. I kind of liked Venom. I like Tom Hardy as Eddie Brock, but otherwise, really not that much to go with there. So now we're into the MCU. Now here I have 2 4Ks. One was sent to me from the Disney Movie Club, which I wasn't paying attention to that they sent. Almost got upset. And then the other one I picked up on Black Friday. Now I don't have a 4K player or 4K TV. I do have a 4K TV, but I don't have a 4K player. Mainly, these are only here because they're Blu-rays, and when I do end up getting 4K player, 4K TV, another 4K TV, I already have them. So this one is the Ant-Man and Wasp with the little lenticular slipcover there. Like Ant-Man and Wasp. I actually liked it more than Ant-Man. Really good movie. I do recommend that one. And then we have Spider-Man Homecoming. Spider-Man Homecoming I am a fan of. I'm going to see Far From Home maybe in a week or so. But as of right now, Homecoming will do it for now. And I also saw Spideyverse not that long ago. So, yeah, Spider-Man, he's kind of making a big time step up. Yeah, continue with the last movie of the MCU that I've gotten recently. And that is the OG, the starter, Iron Man. This is obviously the best of the Iron Man movies. I don't have 2 and 3 yet. I'm going to wait to get those because really, out of the MCU, all I am missing is 4 films. Not going to tell you which ones, because a couple in the next video, and then if enough I have the rest by then, because you know I take so long. Okay, it's time to start the stock titles. This one I've yet to see. As I said, you're going to hear that a lot. Now this one is a movie that was pretty much criticized and then loved, like a lot of love and hate. As I said, I've yet to see it, so I won't know yet, and that is Bohemian Rhapsody. Actually, this is the documentary based around the legendary group Queen, mainly Freddie Mercury. But I will give it a watch. I've yet to watch it. I'm going to watch it. It's just that it's about, what, over 2.5 hours? I believe, something like that. Yeah, I believe it's somewhere in that time, like. So I just need to put some time away for that. Next up is a movie I did see. It's on the theaters, actually, and that is the remake/reboot of Halloween. I really like this one. Many people will agree that this is probably the best entry in the film since... Best entry in the series. I'm going to exclude the remakes because we know the first Halloween remake is pretty good. Since probably Halloween 2. Well, no, H2O, because H2O gets very overlooked. So yeah, but this is very good. Jamie Lee Curtis kills it. She's Great. Kills it. Next up is a animation film, a movie I really did like as a kid. Had to pick it up because it was nice to have, and that is B-movie with this kind of new slip cover. A couple of these kind of have these, kind of like DreamWorks / Fox slips. That's B-movie. I liked it. Jerry Seinfeld is a talking bee. Next up we have, this one was an upgrade. I had it on DVD previously, upgraded it to Blu-ray, and this one stars some very good names. You got Ben Stiller, David Schwimmer, Jada Pinkett Smith, Chris Rock, Sacha Baron Cohen, Cedric the Entertainer. Believe that's it that I can think of. Yeah, those are pretty much all I can come off the top of my head, and that is Madagascar. Love this movie, great. This really does challenge anything that Disney has done, and even challenges Shrek. Next up is a movie that I did like, hadn't seen yet when it was out. I waited for a while to watch it. I was kind of hesitant, but I saw it on one day, watched it, and now I had to pick it up. And this one I believe was also a Black Friday pickup, and that is Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. This one's actually really good. Just love to go see the back to the Harry Potter universe. Crimes are going throughout. I know it. People shattered on it. I haven't seen it yet. Wait and see. This one, a movie I picked up. I really did like this one. It's really good. I like this one. I picked this up around the same time I believe I picked up Venom. I believe they came around the same time anyway. And that is Ready Player One, the last movie from last year. Really good movie. I did like this movie a lot. CGI and it's beautiful, and it really does show a potential future that we could probably have. You never know. Hey, another one that I picked up that's a part of this little animation DreamWorks thing with the slips, and that is How to Train Your Dragon. I've seen this one a lot. Saw the second one once, liked it. Haven't seen the third. Haven't had a chance to, so I'm gonna get those because I want to have the trilogy of this, but I did like this one a lot. This one, Madagascar, Shrek, Shark Tale, all those really do challenge Disney. Thanks DreamWorks. Just DreamWorks is really hit or miss. Next up are two films that go together. They go together. They are synonymous with a holiday. I mean, you can watch these films outside of that holiday, like we all do, and that is Home Alone and Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. Two of my favorite films ever. I love them to death. I hadn't had these in my collection for a long time. I believe I picked up Home Alone first, and then I saw Home Alone 2 and said snatch. Got them both for $5, so great. And this one, and Home Alone 2 came with the slip. Sad this one didn't, but yeah, I just love those movies. Anyone who knows me can tell you that, yeah, I love those movies. Next up is a movie that's part of a franchise that you just saw recently with Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. This is pretty much the movie I believe Jurassic World is a remake of Fallen Kingdom, and that is Jurassic World: The Lost World. Jurassic Park: The Lost World. Now I like this one. Not that many people do. They still like it a hell of a lot more than 3. Jurassic World: The Lost World it's pretty much Fallen Kingdom, but Fallen Kingdom's on a whole much bigger scale and a lot of different workings. Next up, we have another animation film, the DreamWorks. This one does not have a slip because I found it at Big Lots, and that is Kung Fu Panda, the first one. I love the Kung Fu Panda. The first one's great. DreamWorks, I said, they have some gems. They have a lot of gems there. Just it's not Disney's to some people. I've seen 2. 2's very nice, and I have yet to see 3. But I believe I'll like 3. Okay, getting to down here. Let's just move these little things up real quick. Next up, we have a horror film, which was very nice to see that this franchise decided to go back to just pure horror, and that is Curse of Chucky. This one's one I had upgraded. I had it on DVD. I got it pretty much when it came out. So yeah, I do like this movie. I like this one and what is the other one? Call of Chucky a lot. They are pretty good. They really do reinvigorate the horror element for Chucky. And then of course there's the new one that came out, Child's Play. Next up we have is a kind of thick edition. It's a 3-disc set when they just decided to swell up the Blu-ray sets, I guess. And that is Brad Pitt. Excuse me. Brad Pitt starring in Moneyball. Now, many sport fans will probably attest to this, that they don't like that they've kind of went against the movie because they kind of called it controversial in a way because it kind of exposed some things of how MLB clubs do things. But This is a really good movie. One of Brad Pitt's best roles, and Jonah Hill, not in a comedy, and he was great in it. Ooh. Now this next one is a movie I love. It's a great comedy. It stars one of the comedy kingpins in Will Ferrell, his buddy John C. Reilly, and Sacha Baron Cohen. You probably know where I'm going with this, and that is Talladega Nights, the Ballad of Ricky Bobby. Great movie. I don't have to speak on it. I would love to speak on it, but I could really take this whole video on it. It's just great. This is the second mature... No, I'm lying. This is the first non-kid-friendly comedy I watched. There was this one, then I watched Norbit. Next up is, speaking of kid-friendly, is part of one of the most iconic things in television movie history, and that is The Addams Family. This is the first one of the two movies. They had the Addams Family Values, which I will try to find. I do love them both. I love the Addams Family. Grew up on the cartoon. Saw a lot of the, even as a child, I watched a lot of the, what do you call it, the black and white show. The black and white original show, and then I love the movies. So, Addams Family, great. Gotta get it. Next up this one was me. I had this one on DVD, upgraded it. This was finishing off the trilogy, and that is the Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. As you know, I had, where are you, Fellowship and Return of the King. So now I had to get The Two Towers. Love this one. Lord of the Rings is probably the best movie trilogy out there, because they all just get better each film. Next up we have is a movie that really doesn't get talked about, and it stars Brad Pitt. Definitely a movie that should get talked about more, especially since who it stars, and that is World War Z, zombie movie. Of course, I understand this is what, 2013, I think. I believe it's like a 2013 movie. Yeah, 2013. Zombies at an all-time high. Walking Dead, and all that. So they different zombies. It's just a disease that makes people rabid, and they spread the disease by biting. That's what a zombie is. Just without going for the brains. Good movie. I really do recommend if you haven't seen it. It's definitely a movie that needs to be talked about more. Alright, next up here is a movie I've yet to see. Just haven't had the time, because I believe this is another long one. This came out. Yeah, I know this. Yep. Yeah, well over 2 hours. Almost 3. Yeah, this actually is 3 hours. Yeah, it's a minute away from being 3 hours, and that is The Wolf of Wall Street. Starring Leonardo DiCaprio, which we all know that this probably should have been the one that got him the Oscar, but Revenant did. And introducing the world to Margot Robbie. So, I know this is a good movie. I know I'm going to enjoy it. Jonah Hill was in this. Yep, Jonah Hill, Matthew McConaughey, they're all in it. So, there's that. So I have yet to watch it. And then this one, I have seen. Its sequel just came out, I think it was last month. Yeah, last month. And that is Godzilla. I like this one. Not many people like it, many people hate it. It's just due to the fact that Godzilla isn't overly used in it, which, I mean, they're building him up, so that's really the point. They were building him up. So, relax. I do enjoy it. It doesn't look like what was it, King of Monsters was well received. I'm going to watch it and see. So, yeah, that's it for the movies and wrestling. Now it is time for the television shows. This is very thick here television-wise. I'm just going to go and say my thoughts. First off is the not MCU, I call it the Marvelverse on Netflix. That is Luke Cage Season 1. Was able to find this on Amazon for pretty cheap, about $30, which these kind of go higher than that, because I've seen these go for like $70, $80. So again, and it was new, wasn't opened, so I getting it for $30, no shipping. Great. Yet to see it. I'm gonna watch it. It's just that I haven't had the time, because I'm debating whether I should just watch it all on Netflix or watch this, then watch Season 2 on Netflix. That's what, leave me alone. Next up we have is another Marvel show, and that is from Fox. It recently got canceled. Kind of sad about that, because I kind of wanted to see where at least the third season was going to go, and that is The Gifted, Season 1. I saw Season 2. I liked it. I pretty much said that seasons were even in terms of quality. So, yeah, I did like The Gift. I do recommend it. I know it's only 2 seasons, but mainly it got axed due to the fact that Disney's trying to move a lot of their stuff to their own streaming service. Same with Warner Brothers in DC, because now Warner Brothers is doing its own streaming service, so a lot of the Warner Brother property / DC stuff is getting axed. That's why Swamp Thing was axed. That's why many other things might get axed. Okay, so now we're in DC. First up is Childhood, for anybody who's at least 30, 35. and that is the classic complete set of Batman the Animated Series. It's just great. It's these two things here. All the discs are there. It's just great. Batman the Animated Series is what made me become a pretty much fan of anything. This is the show that made people kind of nerds. Like many people got out nerds off of comics or movies. Batman the Animated Series did it for a lot of people. Next up we have is the one and only season of Constantine. I haven't seen this season fully. I've seen the first 2-3 episodes. I have to watch the rest. It was a good show. It's just a show that I forget whatever network it was on just really didn't go fully with it. It's kind of their fault, because Constantine, especially Matt Ryan's Constantine, has become very popular over the past few years. Just especially Matt Ryan's Constantine, constantly appearing in the DC animated world and the Arrowverse. Next up, talking about Arrowverse, is Legends of Tomorrow Season 3. This is the best season of Legends. Everything just works well. The comedy, everything is just great about it. And also John Constantine, Matt Ryan's Constantine. This one pretty much is in it. Just great. Everything about that season was great. It's Legends of Tomorrow's best season, and probably one of the top 5 or 6 seasons of the Arrowverse. Next up is a show that is not in the Arrowverse yet, which with the up-and-coming Crisis event, we expect it to be, and that is the first season of Black Lightning. Really good, pretty good first season. I did like the second season. Second season was kind of like extending some things a little too long, but otherwise it was still a good season. So, interested to see what Season 3 goes there. Next up, back to the Arrowverse, and that is the 4th season of The Flash. I like the 4th season, not that many people did. I like The Thinker, namely when it was played by the main actor. What was his name? I believe it was Neil Sandilands. He did a great job at it. So yeah, Season 4 was pretty much hit or miss. There are times in this season where it's kind of like... But otherwise, it's a good season. Definitely better than Season 3. Next up, we are on to the show that started the whole Arrowverse, and that is Arrow. I have the 2 seasons I was missing until Season 7 ended, and Arrow is going into its last season, so it's time to start getting ready for that. And that is Arrow Season 3, which I picked up not that long ago, DVD, and Arrow Season 6, picked up at Black Friday. So yeah, most of these TV shows you can kind of tell by the way they look, they were Black Friday pickups. Gifted was a Black Friday pickup. Flash, Black Lightning, Legends wasn't. Yeah, Legends wasn't. So yeah, these are the Black Friday pickups right here. Season 6, this one I ordered off of Amazon. Season 3, not that good. Season 6, just good. Really not really much to say there. Next up we have is another animated DC TV show. This is the complete set of another show that made me into a nerd, and that is the complete Justice League animated series. Now we're talking Justice League Unlimited and Justice League all in this. I know there's a Blu-ray version of this. This one's the cheaper one, and I've always said with TV shows I will prefer DVD. I do have a good number of Blu-rays that are mainly up there, and you saw a couple already. But this is great. This is childhood. My childhood. And the final one of the DC world, DC universe, and that is Sci-Fi's Krypton. Season 1. I'm trying to get a better view because it's kind of black all over this. There we go. Yeah, Krypton Season 1 was actually pretty good. Season 2 has started. I've been watching Season 2. Season 2 is better. It's a lot more funnier, which you would think, but yeah. So yeah, Krypton's actually good. I do recommend it. It's kind of like Gotham in a way, but it's not, because this one takes a lot of liberties due to the fact that the main characters don't exist in DC canon. Like the show centers around Superman's grandfather, Seg-El, which he doesn't exist in DC canon. This takes place years before Krypton's explosion, year before Jor-El's even born. So, kind of tells you they're taking a lot of liberties. And the villain is Brainiac, which this one is probably Brainiac in here. So on Sci-Fi, we know how Sci-Fi is with their CGI in the past. He looks beautiful. I'm gonna say. Okay. Next up we have is anime. I believe this is the only these are the only animes I have. It's the same series. It's the same franchise, different series, and that is first off, Dragon Ball Super Part 5. Black Goku there, like that. Love that. I do like the Black Goku saga and Dragon Ball Z Season 4. Love Season 4. It's a great movie. Great TV show. Season, I mean. It pretty much, if you take out the Garlic Jr. crap, and I mean take that out, which is pretty much, is it the, yeah, let me see. They ain't gonna tell me here. It's the whole first disc, if I remember correctly. Should be the whole first disc. Just don't watch the first disc. Just don't watch it. Pay no attention to it. Don't do it. Watch everything after. Pretty much and this leads into DBZ's greatest villain. So there's that. Next up is from Netflix, and that is, I believe it's only for like 4 episodes, right? Yeah, this is only like 4 episodes. Me saying that, you already know what it is. And that is Castlevania, the anime style show. It's actually good. Didn't expect it to be. I'll say Blu-ray. Blu-ray is actually really cheap for Fit. It was like 15. Blu-ray was usually about 25, so save 10 bucks. Had to get it. Honestly, I'm spending like $15 for like 4 episodes when it's on Netflix, but can't keep relying on streaming services and stuff, especially when Netflix looks like it's going to end up losing a whole bunch of its content to other streaming services. So, might as well get your hard copies. Next up we have is another TV show I have, I believe, 2 seasons of. Yep. This is the first and most recent seasons of Power. This is season 1 on Blu-ray and season 5 on DVD. So this one I got pretty much when it released. I got this the same day I believe I got, what was it, Godzilla. Got them instantly. I said, oh look, Snatch. Good show. It's definitely one of the best shows on TV that really hasn't been talked about until recently. The first few seasons were kind of like people weren't talking, like, ignore it. Now everyone's like, oh my god. So I've been watching it since it debuted and started. So there's that. Okay, next up we have is one of the more iconic TV shows of the past 15 plus years, I'd say. No, I'd say about 12, 13, yeah. About 15 years is safe to say that. And that is seasons 3 and 4 of Dexter, Blu-ray. These I got for steal at what is it? Big Lots. It's like $5 each. Come on. Season 3 is I'm not a big fan of season 3. Season 4 is probably its most iconic season besides the first, because it's the season. Well, for Dexter fans, we all know what happens in this season. I believe this is the season where, what's his name, Michael C. Hall. Actually, I believe he got like a Golden Globe or an Emmy for his performance as Dexter. Next up, we have 2 seasons of probably the most popular show on TV right now, especially with Game of Thrones over, and that is Stranger Things. Now, I have the two Target exclusive Blu-ray sets, the VHS sets of season 1. Come on. You've probably seen these a billion times, but I need to show it off. I don't think that many people have these. I know people have them, but I don't think that many people show them off like that. It's the VHS for season 1. And the VHS of season 2. It's just cool, great. It's a nice collector's things. Now, odds are season 3 probably have one. I saw season 3 last week. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. I don't know which is my favorite, but Stranger Things is, as I said, probably the most popular. Not probably, it is the most popular TV show out there right now, with Game of Thrones over and Walking Dead slowly falling into oblivion. Walking Dead, Game of Thrones just fell into oblivion this last season. They just said, screw it, let's go oblivion in one shot. Okay, next up, we're going back to the CW, and this is the 2nd season of Riverdale, another Black Friday pickup. I like Riverdale. Riverdale kind of gets some. I've seen Riverdale get a lot of hate for its special season, because I can understand at times it can be very cringe, but God, I literally think that's just purpose writing. Like, they've purposely written it that way at times just because they know people are gonna talk about it. So season 4, hopefully season 4 is less cringe, but yeah. Okay, next up we have is an anime. Forgot I had this one here. and that is of one of the most iconic animes of all time. That's Pokemon. This is kind of side story, yeah, side story of the anime, and that is Pokemon: The Adventures of the Orange Islands. This one's okay. It's just what a handful of episodes. I believe it's 3 discs. It's like 6 episodes a disc. So it's like 18-20 episodes of it. It's a very small arc. Less of a spin-off tale for Ash to win something. Okay, next up we have is a season of one of my favorite series, and that is season 5 of NCIS. NCIS I am slowly collecting over time. I understand it's got a lot of seasons. That's just me. There's a lot of seasons. I have 2, 3, 4, and 5 out of like 15, 16. So got a ways to go. And finally, the pièce de résistance of the set, and that is 3 seasons, all Black Friday pickups, $10 each, of Game of Thrones. Now, I officially have all. I believe... No, I'm missing one. 4 seasons. Yeah. I have to put this in the thing. Yeah, I'm leaving it in here. No editing. Stays in here. Making sure. Yep. 4 seasons, the 4 missing seasons up till season 8 release of Game of Thrones. But that's here. We'll start off with season 3 of Game of Thrones. Home to the most infamous episode of Game of Thrones. Until season 8. Season 4 of Game of Thrones. And then The Brick, season 5, Game of Thrones. Probably my favorite artwork. And finally, season 7, the complete 7th and 7th Blu-ray season of Game of Thrones with the Night King. If you can barely see him staring at you. Winter is here. You can... The glare... wait, no, glare's not gonna let it happen. It says on the back, wait. Not gonna happen. It says on the back, winter is here. That's Game of Thrones season 7. So, yeah, this is still my favorite TV show, regardless of this. I'm just gonna say it now. I'm not the biggest fan of the final season. It was fine, the first 3 episodes, especially the long night. But after that, it slowly went downhill. The episode after the long night is probably one of the worst episodes I've ever seen in a TV show. The one after that, with Daenerys' heel turn, I was fine with it. And then the finale, bang. Oh, I don't want to get into it, I might cry. But Game of Thrones is over, that's wrong. Okay, so, oh, that was a mess. That was a mess of 42 minutes, but let's just go with it. This is a long update, as I said. I did a lot. It's a lot. This is at least probably damn near 100 titles. At least. So, I tried to make it as short as I could. Next one I won't let be that long, even though it's already about, give me a second, say about already 20 deep. And it's only been from about a month. I'd say about maybe 6 weeks. I've slowed down a bit in buying, but as you can already tell, if I said it's already about 20 in like 2 months still. Yeah. But, yep. So, thank you guys for putting up with me, for watching for almost 50 minutes. I would like to thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all of that. And I will see you guys again, either with a wrestling video or another Blu-ray video, collection video. So, thank you guys for watching. See you later. Bye.